I have to tell you, I'm in my car because we're going to Disneyland. How about that?
And you're coming to pick me up on the way.
All right. Yeah. I hope you're ready. Well, we're in a little traffic.
That's okay. That's all right.
All right.
I appreciate. Look, man, I appreciate you taking the time to have a chat when you're on your way to Disneyland. I mean, that's usually a big deal. So
yeah,
that's amazing. Well, of course, Jim Cummings, thank you so much for joining us on the show. It's an absolute honor to have you on here, mate. I'm a big fan, been a long time fan of yours. So thank you.
Well, my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me out to play.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Of course, you're coming back down to Australia for Supanova. And, mate, we can't wait to see you. How are you feeling about coming back down, having a bit of a working holiday maybe?
It's going to be great. Yeah, I enjoy these. I have a great time with them. I always do, every time.
Mate.
You know, it's great to people, and they'll come up with, oh my God, do the voice. And I'll do no, the mailman number 2 and that one show and it's like, oh my gosh. So it's all something to learn. It's a beautiful.
Mate, well, your resume is incredibly intimidating, and of course, I mean, you've got all your main characters like Pooh and Tigger and Darkwing Duck and Taz. The list is just massive. Have you found that people have spoken to you about certain characters, and it's changed over the years, which their favorites, I guess, depending which part of you are in the world or time?
A little, a bit. You know, some are evergreen, you know, Pooh and Tigger.
Yes.
And I have to say Darkwing Duck, there's Disney Plus is a new streaming service that we have here. I don't know if it's there, but and it's revitalized a lot of the old Disney afternoon shows, Darkwing Duck being one of them. Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, you know, the Gummy Bears. And so it's interesting because, you know, I'll go to a convention and I'll be a 7-year-old cosplaying as Darkwing Duck. And I'll say, well, that's good. That show went off the air 20 years before you were born. And, you know, and it's all Disney Plus.
Mate.
So I've got generations of fans and certain characters.
Well, I'm one of them, of course. I mean, I'm pretty sure you played a part in every franchise known to man, and pretty much all the ones I grew up with, like Transformers and Batman, Star Wars, Ghostbusters, and this one, of course, I have to show you, is a very important one. Is Leatherhead from Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
I hear your voice every time I look at this thing. It's on my shelf at home.
A good-looking guy.
Yeah. I think we kind of look the same, sort of.
Yeah. Okay.
He's better looking than me. But
well, you know, I have a main philosophy that if you do a perfect impression of someone that nobody knows, that's a new character. And if you do a terrible impression of somebody everybody knows, they don't even know who you're doing, that's a new character. Well, Leatherhead was the former. He was a dead-on impression of my very first tugboat captain. When I was on the Mississippi River in New Orleans, I was 19. I was a deckhand. And I went on there, and there was this guy. He was about 79 years old, and he talked just like that. And so it's very interesting. You know, I often wondered a few years later if his grandkids were going, "Hey, Grandpa, this alligator here." And of course, from Australia, he would have been a crocodile.
That's right.
Yeah.
The longest snout. But mate, you got me then. I just had one of those like little memory spasms when I was younger.
Oh,
you know, doing the voice. You know, you probably hear that all the time, but you know, right. I love it. Thank you. But I mean, there's rumors on how you got started as a voice actor. Now, some say you were bitten by another voice actor by a full moon. Is that maybe? Or you were discovered in a video store, working in a video store? Let's set the record straight. How? What was the beginning? Where'd you get discovered?
Well, I was bitten by the owner of a video store.
Oh, okay.
Both of those put together. No, I made my first demo tape when I was managing a video store in Anaheim Hills, California. And I just, I had this little cassette and I handed it around. And one of the guys that one of my customers knew a fellow named Frank Brandt, God rest his soul, and he was gearing up to do Dumbo Circus for the brand new channel called Disney something. And you may have heard of it. But in the mid 80s, when cable TV was just taking off. And so they needed programming, and this fella had 65 episodes ready to go. And it was called Dumbo Circus, and it was people in costume. They were walkarounds. And so they needed to get voices. So they, Lionel, the lion came from Timothy Mouse from Dumbo, but they couldn't have, even though it was a little person, Sharon Barrett was 4'2". That's still a pretty big mouse. So they had to change from Timothy Mouse to Lionel Lion. And I auditioned for it and got the job. And we were doing 2 shows a week for, the better part of, over a year. They kind of staggered them. And at that point, I had an agent, and I was getting regular auditions and doing radio commercials, TV commercials. And, one thing led to another. And now here I get to talk to you.
I'm sorry about that. No, what an incredible career you've had, man. And I know you probably get asked a million times over the years, and you get told how, hearing those familiar voices, in movies or series triggers an emotional response in people. And it's had such a massive impact on people's lives. And I guess it's even probably saved some. You probably hear that from time to time. How does that make you feel when people come up to you and tell you those things?
Well, it's great because then, I can balance it out with my karma and going back to being just a pure weasel. No, it's a gift. It's a blessing. It's a true blessing. I don't take myself seriously, but I take my career seriously.
Yes.
Because
of course,
it means a lot to them. And I've had, any number of people say that Winnie the Pooh was like a talisman for them, if they can only cling to Pooh or Pooh's words or his phrases or this or that, that it got them through some very, very unbelievably tough times. And, and I've got tons of stories like that. And it's an honor. It is. It's an honor. I like I say, I don't take myself seriously, but I take my work seriously.
Absolutely.
Which is interesting because I do cartoon voices. But seriously as one can take cartoon character voices.
Who was that for you? I mean, obviously, Mel Blanc is probably a big deal, but was there someone that you look to?
Well, I always thought Paul Frees was really cool.
Yeah.
And definitely Mel Blanc. I've told the story a million times that when I was 5 years old, there was a show on television called the Jack Benny program. He was a comedian back in the day and big, very famous guy. Well, he had Mel Blanc on as a character, one of his crew, one of his, standard people that were on the show. And he was out there doing a bit, and Mel was dressed in a sombrero and a serape, looking like, and then of course a 3-piece suit. So he said, so Jack Benny said to him something like, so it's good to see you here today. Is it, I'm sorry, what is your name? Cy. Oh, good. And you're having a good time here on the show? See. Okay. And everything was SOSIS, So my dad says, that's the guy who does all those characters that it's Saturday morning. Back then it was all on Saturday morning here in the States. And he did Daffy Duck and Tasmanian Devil and Bugs Bunny and on. And I went, oh my gosh. And I remember thinking, well, he doesn't have to stand in the corner for being a little weirdo. So I think I'll do that. And I was 5 years old. So, I had a purpose right then.
Man.
A very long shot purpose. But
incredible. That's incredible. Yeah. Has there been a story arc that one of your characters has gone through that has had an emotional effect on you? Something that you had to put yourself into their shoes that is sort of stuck with you?
Well, Ray from Princess and the Frog was very near and dear to my heart.
Oh yeah.
And he had a heart of gold, and I just thought the world of that little guy. And that was one of the hardest scenes I ever had to do, honestly, to die,
Yeah.
which was interesting. So, but yeah, he was very near and dear to my heart, no doubt about it.
I'm not gonna lie, I cried like a baby when that was. I went to the movies and saw that with my daughter. She's like, "You crying?" And I'm like, "No, yeah."
No, I,
Got me good.
right. Well, the women love a man with a big back punch.
How good is it? But another thing is, of course, music has played a big part in your life. I mean, I believe you used to be a drummer, and you're a singer, you're a vocalist as well. So, how does that sort of play its part in your performances, even to this day?
Well, I certainly, and I've talked this over with friends of mine like Rob, Paulson, Jess Harnell. There are certain characters that have a certain rhythm to them, a certain musicality. Like, I am the terror that flaps in the night. And there's a certain something there that hooks onto you.
Yeah.
And I've noticed a lot of singers are voice actors. A lot of voice actors are singers, and the best of each do both. I could be wrong, but
No.
I'm not. I could be wrong, but I'm.
No.
But no, it's just an observation, and I think it's just because you're used to putting everything into the microphone as opposed to the camera. I've done any number of sessions with on camera actors, and it'll be his line, and the guy will stand there and he'll look very pensive, and then he'll look kind of sad, and then he just might be mad, and the microphone hears this.
Yeah, because it's all in the yeah.
So you gotta dance with the one that brung you.
That's right. Have you ever had a jam with like dudes like Jess Harnell? Because he's a rock and roll dude. Have you ever got behind the kit and had a jam?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, everybody on the Tasmania show. Speaking of Tasmania, and where we almost are. Everybody on there was a musician or a singer or a drummer or a guitar player, and we all realized that about 8 or 10 shows in, and we thought, well, let's get a band, and so I busted out my congas, and Debbie Derryberry sang, and Rob Paulson sang, Jess Harnell was in and out of it, and Keith Baxter and the whole gang, and we just had a great old time, and we'd play at Children's Hospital. We played at the Disney Off-Road. I forget what it was, but it was in Burbank, and we played benefits, and it was a lot of fun. And then the kids would come by, and we'd sign autographs for them, and it was those good old days, no doubt about it.
And what was your playing drums? What was your influences? Were you a rock and roll dude? I don't know if you can tell. I'm a bit of a heavy metal, death metal dude. But I've always picked up a bit of a rock and roll thing about you, especially Jess. It's pretty obvious. But,
that's pretty obvious. Yeah.
Who was your influence as a drummer? Who got you going?
Well, actually, one of my favorite influences as a drummer is a good buddy of mine. It was Danny Seraphin from Chicago.
Yeah, mad.
I always loved him, and I loved Hal Blaine, who was the king of sessions, and Buddy Rich, of course, Gene Krupa. And different people, and Billy Cobham is another.
Man.
So, yeah. And I got to tell you, Ringo Starr is, I like him because he's a musician who happens to be a drummer, and he approaches it. He plays music. He just so happens to do it on drums. I think he's one of the most underrated guys ever.
I agree. Some of the best.
Hard to do Beatle, but he's still underrated as a drummer.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
No, I said we're not worried about him, mind
you. No, he's still going. Well, man, what else is coming up for you? I mean, you've got your trip down under.
Yes, I've definitely got my trip down under, and we've got another iteration of Mickey Mouse coming out, Mickey Mouse Funhouse.
Yep.
There is a little thing for Warner Brothers out there with John Cena, the former wrestler actor type, and it's going to be very interesting. It's called Coyote versus Acme,
Oh,
coming to a near you. So stay tuned.
that sounds incredible. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I've seen the amount of it, and it's really good. It's really bodacious. It's quite a lot of fun.
Man.
And it's kind of Rabbit style, where they have the tunes right there, right in with the on-camera actors. It's going to be good.
Who can you tell us who you play, or is that under wraps? Is that sort of like an anvil will come out of the sky if you tell me?
Yeah, no, I hope not. No, it's definitely Taz.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I will say that voice sounds a lot. I don't know if you know who Max Cavalera is, but it sounds like the Taz voice sounds like from a band called Sepultura. So check that out.
From a what?
A band called Sepultura. Well, he does his own Soulfly now.
Oh,
yeah. He sounds like
yes,
that. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. They're.
I'm losing you. I'm losing you. Hang on. Are you there? I think the I think the Warner Brothers people. I think they've got the Acme helicopters coming over to block our signal or something. I think I've looked.
Well, I hope not.
They can hear everything. They know where you live. But Jim, it has been absolutely incredible having you on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time. We're going to have all the links down here for Supanova.
Good,
mate.
I was just about to ask you that. That's wonderful.
Absolutely. But
am I with you?
Sorry?
Shall I see you when we get there?
Oh, absolutely. Sorry, we got the delay happening. Yes, I will be.
My wife.
I'll be on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, I know. Okay, great. Well, I'll be the guy with the beautiful blonde lady.
Oh, excellent. I'm going to be the guy with the big tall guy and the beard. So, and I will come up. I'll give you a big hug if we're allowed, because I love you. But mate, thank you so much again. Enjoy Disneyland, and we will see you very soon, my friend.
All right, I'll tell them you said hello.
Absolutely. Thanks, man. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.